on Google Meet. I can see Teslimat. I can see Victoria. I can see Dr. Jiboye. And good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining early. Thank you so much. So currently we have 5 people on YouTube, and we have two. We have how many? 2 participants on Google Meet. So we have, in fact, it's only 1 person. Okay, 2, Victoria and Slimat. And good morning to you all. So of course, this is 9:58 a.m. By 10:02 or 3, we'll start officially.
Morning,
Good morning, Victoria. How are you this morning?
I'm fine, sir. And you too, sir.
I'm doing well, thank you very much. So I can see Franca, I can see Teminsola, I can see Oyesen 20 on YouTube. Thank you very much. So currently we have 12 people or participants, watching on YouTube, and we have just 1 participant now, Teslimat, on Google Meet. Okay, welcome, Olasombo. Welcome, Olasombo. So I'm trying to also remind everybody on WhatsApp now, so that you all can join, and then we can start the class accordingly. It is time for the meeting. Oh, not the meeting, it is time for the training. Okay, and we shall continue from where we stopped yesterday. All right, and compliment of the season, everyone. Today is 24th of December 2025, and we continue from where we stopped yesterday. But I still want to give allowance for people that are just joining. So currently we have 9 participants on the Google Meet, and we have 18 participants on YouTube. So by 10:02, we will start officially. And I'm very happy that Dr. Ajiboye is here, to continue from where he stopped yesterday. All right. All right. Good morning, Deborah. Good morning. Now, let me. Okay, so for those that cannot join on Google Meet, please try to join on YouTube. Try to join on YouTube. So the Google Meet is just for engagement purpose, so that we can have, interaction on Google Meet and answer the question accordingly. As always, those that are also asking question on YouTube, as you know, we always check the YouTube and they answer your question accordingly. So both YouTube and the Google Meet is where we are taking all the questions and answer them accordingly. All right. So this is 10:01. By 10:02, Dr. Ajiboye will come on board and continue from where he stopped yesterday. All right. All right. So let me stop sharing my screen and give the floor to Dr. Ajiboye. Dr. Ajiboye, good morning, sir.
Good morning this morning. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, sir. Thank you. Yeah, it's 10:02 from here, and I believe we are all set for today's class. You were in class yesterday, and you enjoyed all that we did together. Can you please give me your best emoji? You were in class yesterday. All right, that is good. So can you tell me one thing you learned yesterday on your chat box. Let me have one thing you learned. One thing you learned yesterday that resonates well with you. Can just type it on the chat box. One specific thing you could remember clearly that you learned yesterday. Any of those things we treated, how to use headers, good. I learned how to page preliminary pages, excellent. I learned how to move to another page without using enter, good. I learned how to do table of contents without typing, excellent. I learned how to move chapter to new page without pressing enter, good. I'm only seeing 2 responses on the Google Meet. I can see quite a number of responses on the YouTube. What's happening? Google Meet people. How to create table of contents, how to do section break, good. How to use sub-headers, good. How to number pages, good. Use page break. How to use control a lot of things, good. How to create table of content and preliminary pages. Excellent. So actually, I know it well. I learned how to write background to the study correctly. That's a good one. That's a good one. All right. I knew it that we actually covered quite a lot of things yesterday. And I can assure you that if and only if you perhaps miss anyone, you can always go back to check again and listen, watch the video over and over till you're able to get each concept well. So I'm going to bring up the same document we were using yesterday, and we are still going to learn some new things again today. So permit me to share my screen. I think entire screen will be best bet for this. Sorry about that. Okay, so you can see my screen and you can read immunology, blah, blah, on my screen. Can you please give me an emoji as well? You can see my screen. Can you please give me your best emoji? All right, good, good, good. So this was the same document we tried working on yesterday with our preliminary pages, certification, what else? We also did section break. We also did our table of content. So we're still going to be working with this and we'll be learning some new things. Remember, most of the things we did yesterday, we did around the home ribbon. And I think we also did some few things on the insert where we did our page numbering. We also came to layout. We did some few things where we did our page break. And but if you check carefully well, you see that there's still quite a number of things we can learn from each of those ribbons. So I'll be setting up some scenarios. You know, there's no how you have a document without having tables, without having figures. So it's important you also know, sorry, how to format your tables well, how to title your tables, how to title your tables such that the same way you were able to generate the table of content for every other things that has to do with the body of the work, you can as well generate table of content for your list of tables, for your list of figures or list of appendices or any other thing you have in your work. But before I go there, I remember one of you asked a question on the YouTube yesterday, and it was asking, or she was asking, that after we did the styling, that she observed something that looks like an arrow towards the left of each of the styles we did. That what was it meant for? Now, if you look at the arrow, it's meant to either collapse or expand what you have under that particular heading. For example, if I want to collapse everything I have under my literature review, I can click on this. I hope you can all see there's a very small arrow pointing downwards right beside my literature review since I'm in chapter 2. I can click on it and it will collapse everything under my literature review. And the next you will be seeing will be whatsoever is next to literature review, which is your chapter 3. So you can see every other thing has been collapsed. If you want to expand it again, of course, you click it and it will bring it back for you to see. So easily you can navigate your way around that. That's what that is meant for. So let's imagine you want to have a table, and I'm in page, what is this? Page 7. I have described, remember, every work you do has to be done professionally. Definitely before you talk of having a table, you must have coated the table in the body of your work. So for example, let me just read the statement here. To make your documents look professional, I'm reading the statement. To make your document look professionally produced, Word provides header, footer, cover page, and text box design that complement each other. Let's now imagine an answer as shown in table 1 or table, chapter 2. As shown is table 2.1. So that means shortly after this, I've already made a reference to table 2.1. It then means that I must have a table that is titled table 2.1 with the correct title on it. So now a making table is very easy. Just come to your insert ribbon. And under your insert ribbon, you can see this first part that has to do with your breaks or cover page and page break or blank page. Then the next to it is your table. Table, as you have it, table. So you can click on the table, and of course, each of the box is telling you, and you imagine as I'm clicking forward, it's telling me I have 3 columns by 1 row. As you can see it, where you have insert table presently, the moment I move my cursor to one of the boxes, it's saying this is 1 by 1 table, that is 1 row to 1 column. I move to the right, it's telling me, and I have 2 columns by 1 row. Of course, 3 columns by 1 row, 4 columns by 1 row. If I move downwards through that, then it's saying I have produced 4 columns by 2 rows. But depending on the number of columns and rows, like you know that your horizontal line is your row and your vertical part is the column. So if I click, I just click, and that will automatically insert my table. And remember, this table is having all the lines present and all the lines horizontally, all the lines vertically present. In some instances, you don't have to show all of this, most especially in some journal articles or in some style of writing in some institution. For example, the institution I belong, you only show 3 lines, 3 horizontal lines in any table. So that means, let's imagine if I'm trying to give a description and I call my first column serial number, let's just say SN, serial number, and I say my second column is representing, let's say, headers. Then my third column are the footers. And my last one, let me just call it cover page. Now, that is the title, that's the header of this table, not yet the title of the table. Remember I told you yesterday that on every table you have inside your document, you should have title of that table. So let's imagine the table title. We are still going to do a correction on that title. Is table 2.1. And let's call the title of this table document formatting in, sorry, formatting should be double T in MS Word. If that's the title of my table, fine. I'm still going to do some editing there. So let's imagine all of this. I highlight it to give me, and I come to numbering to give me my serial number as 1 to 3. Why do I like to use numbering directly when I'm numbering? So that perhaps I have to delete any of the rows. Let's imagine I want to delete row 2. My numbering will still remain consistent and it can adjust itself naturally. So I'm pressing Ctrl Z to return to that. So I can adjust my table sequentially to meet whatever I have in it. So let's just imagine I have some things inside this. Now, remember I told you where in the institution I am, you must have just a maximum of 3 lines inside your table, not this one showing horizontal, showing vertical. So what you do is you come to where, to the top left of your table, there is this that looks like a cross, like a positive sign. So just click on that. That automatically highlights everything inside your table. And then you come back to your home ribbon. Under your home ribbon, under the paragraphs, you can see this box, this particular box. Remember I told you we talked about that yesterday. So this particular box, you click on it and it brings you every other ways you can format that table, either to remove all the inside borders or all the outside borders, or you don't want any border at all. So for me, I don't want any border at all so that I can now edit it to suit what I wanted. So I will click no border. So what you see happening is that all the lines, both horizontal lines and vertical lines of that particular table has been removed. And of course, I can come here and select the first row and then come back here again and click and tell it to give it a bottom border and a top border. What that will do is that it will introduce a line under that header, and the top border will also introduce a line at the top of that row. Remember I told you, for me personally, what we do is we have maximum of 3 lines. 2 lines to demarcate the header from the rest of the body of the table, and the last line will be at the last row of the table. The last row of my table here is line 3 or row 4. Remember, where you have the header is the first row, where you have 1 is the second row, 2 is the third row, and of course 3 is the fourth row. So of course, what I want to do here, I want to introduce a bottom border, and so I have it that way. And every other thing I want to is put under each of the column or row, I can then introduce without stress. So with that, I've been able to format my table. And that's the same thing you do throughout all. Remember yesterday, we kept emphasizing consistency in whatsoever you're doing. So for example, in a table, you can't be having figures that have 2 decimal points, or you have a value that has 2 decimal places, another one is having 3 decimal places, another one is having 1 decimal places. No, make sure you are consistent. If your style of writing, your institution says 2 decimal places, it means all the figures within that table must be 2 decimal places. Not you have one at 60.0 and another one is 60.10 or 70.123. No, maintain consistency. Now, you have simply inserted a table. Ideally, for your document to be very clean and neat, each table should be on a separate page. Each table should be on a separate page. So how do you achieve that? Remember, one thing you can do is to either copy all and paste in the separate table. But of course, yesterday I taught you how to move your document to the next page without having to be pressing enter, enter, and enter. So we come to our layout, and we, of course, do our page break again. So you have that table right there. Now, one thing that can happen is that if you look carefully, this seems to be a continuation of what we started. Remember yesterday I was telling you about some of the common errors we have in Microsoft Word writing. If you look at this previous page, before we move our table now, you observe that there are too many spaces between where I have my 2.10, I'm sorry, table 2.1, and the next, which is my table. So there's nothing wrong if you move a part of this document under the table to that page up. So I would cut it and go and paste it so that you can mark. Remember yesterday I was talking about orphan page and widow pagination. A situation whereby the other body of the work is much on the next page and just a little part of it is alone on a separate page. You have to maximize all the pages you have inside your work. So of course, to make that looking full, you can have it like that. So the most important thing is that in my previous page, I have made a reference to table 2.1. Let me highlight it because there's something I'm still going to teach you on that so that we can quickly see it when it is time. All right. So now I think it's a bit fair. If I still have something more to add, I can add it under that document. But let's leave it at that, because I want my table to be on a separate page. That means I also have to move the next statement here to a separate page as well. Stay the same layout, then page break. And you move that. Now I have my table on a separate page, only the table on the page. And I think I'm fine at that. If you want to create more than 3 columns or 4 columns or 3 rows or 4 rows, the same method of insert is what we are going to use to do that. And of course, you put all the values or all the words you have in there. Now, if you leave your table this way, you have problem with your table of content at the end of the day. You remember I just typed table 2.1 and document formatting in MS Word is my title. So remember I also told you that the title of a table will always be on top of the table, while the title of an image will always be under that image. But let's format this properly so that by the time we are creating our table of content, it will be easy. How do you do that? Come back to your references. Come back to your references. When you get to your references, under the references, yesterday you learned about table of content. Today, for you to be able to format your tables, we'll come to where you have captions. Look carefully towards your right. That's where my cursor is moving. You can see captions. Captions. So it is here you are going to give your captions to your tables, to your figures, to your appendices, to your what again? Sometimes some people use plates. Plates when you have images or pictures taken by yourself, not the ones you got from internet or any other sources. So in this case, what do? Under your captions, you look at some of the options you have here. You have insert caption. You also have table of figures dialog. You have update table of figure. Then insert cross references. So for now, I will teach you insert caption and insert cross references, and you see how it works. Now, because this is the first time we are using it, and I labeled it table 2.1. Why? Because this is we are in chapter 2 of my document. I did mean we were in chapter 1 and I needed to add a table to chapter 1. I would have labeled it or tagged it table 1.1. 2.1 in the sense that I'm doing chapter delimitation. This is chapter 2. That's the 2 you are seeing after that table. And the one there in chapter 2. Is that okay? So what do? I'm going to copy or cut this, my title, then I will come here under my insert caption. Now, the moment I click insert caption, it brought me a dialog box. You are still with me? Can you please give me a yes? You are still with me? Give me a yes. Either on YouTube or Google Meet, give me a yes. You are still with me. Give me a yes. All right. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right. Yes, that is good. So let's return back to, or let's return to where we were. So what did I say? What was I saying earlier? I just copy or cut off my title because I will need it in the next thing I want to do. So come to captions. Caption is under the reference ribbon. Click on insert caption. Now, when you saw insert caption, it came with its own default because its thought was that I'm inserting a figure, and this is the first figure it's recognizing that I'm inserting since I've started producing or since I've started working on this document. But I know I'm not inserting figure. I intend to insert table. So what do? I come to, if I'm inserting figure, I will not even use this figure 1 because the kind of work I do requires chapter delimitation. If yours doesn't require delimitation, delimitation. What I mean by that is that each chapter we have its own heading separately. But in this case, if yours doesn't have that, you can just start, if it's a figure, figure 1. But if it's not figure, you just come under this label and click on table. Those one comes naturally with the default programming of MS Word. But since I'm doing chapter delimitation by saying table 2.1, after clicking insert caption, it will bring this. Then you come to new label. I hope you can say new label. New label. So under my new label, I click new label. So it's asking me, what is the label I want to use? The label I want to use for this, my table or table series, is table 2 point. You only put the chapter. By the time I click OK, by itself, it will recognize that this is the first table I'm putting. So you only put table 2 point. If I was to be in chapter 1, I will only write table 1 point. If I am to be in chapter 3 and I needed table for my chapter 3, I will put table 3 point. So let me put table 2 point, and you can see table 2.1 appearing. For me, I love putting a dot after each of my numbering. So I already put a dot, then I put a space. Then I can paste the title of the table I was working with earlier, which is document formatting in MS Word. I move to the back to be sure everything is correctly written. Good. I also copy 2.1 along, so I can delete that 2.1. So good. It's saying the caption for the title of that table is table 2.1 point document formatting in MS Word. So I will click OK. So you can see what happened. It brought in the title of my table. And what do I do next? I can highlight it and come back to my home ribbon to make sure it's 12. It's already in Times New Roman. I don't want it italicized. I can uncheck that. Then I click B to ensure it's in the bold form. And so you have it there. That's the title of my table. With the way it is now, by the time I want to do my table of content for list of table, I'll be able to do that without stress. But let's go again to another part of chapter 2 and insert another table. This time around, pay attention. I'll be teaching you 2 things. Please pay attention. Remember, I already told you that your table should be in a separate page. So let me see. I want to move my table after this. So let me make a statement that when you work on a table, I love this. Click here, click where you want to add a row or a column, and then click the plus sign as shown in table. Remember, I told you every table of figures or anything you have in your document must be well cited or well referenced in the body of your work. So let me highlight it because I'm still coming back to do something there. So I now want to move this to a separate page and create my table. Remember what to do? Page break. We do that. So I will also move the next to another page because I want, but before I do that, okay, before I do my page break, let me quickly do something. Let's insert the table, because the kind of table, now the first table we did was there was portrait. So it's very easy to undo that. So the next one I want to do has to do with a table that is landscape. You remember sometimes when you want to work on documents, and because your table is landscape, and it will distort the whole document, by the time you change it to landscape, there will be problem. And the whole document will turn to landscape, you know. There's a way around that. Whereas you can also have a landscape table inside the body of your work. Pay attention. So I want to insert my table. I will make sure it's a very big table so that, let me do something quickly. Let me come and copy and paste one of my tables that is on landscape so that it will be a bit easier for us. I will copy it. I will turn it to, where can I see one that is landscape? One that is landscape. Think, yeah, I should see it somewhere around here. Just a moment, please. I want to, this is, okay, let me just copy this with the title of the table. I will turn it to landscape when we get there. So I'm copying this table for us to be able to use it here. So this is our table 2.1. I'm going to edit it soon. So let me delete this title. And change it to 2.2, not 2.1. It will actually recognize it by the time we do our insert caption. So let me just delete all of that table. So this is my table. I want this table to be in landscape. One error you can make is to just come like this and come to your layout. Remember that your layout, you can see where after your margin, there is this that's called orientation. The orientation could either be in portrait. Portrait is when you just have it standing vertical, or it can be in landscape when you have it standing horizontal. Everything we have been doing has been in portrait. If I dare click landscape, see what is going to happen. My intention is to convert only my table to landscape. But eventually what you see happening is that the whole of my document has turned to landscape. And that will make the work very, very confusing. So what do I need to do? Let me press Ctrl Z to return back to that. I will come to where the document is. What I want to do is that I want only the table to be in landscape, whereas the rest of my document will still maintain their portrait values. So pay attention, please. You are still working under your page setup, and you are still going to do break. But in this case, just like we did yesterday, what you will tell Word is like you want to give a section, because it is section break that will give you the opportunity to be able to do anything around a section that will not affect the next section. So what I'm going to do now is under my layout, I come to break. Instead of page break, remember page break, we also move it to next page. Section break, we also move it to next page. So under my section break, the second part here, you can see a line between this top and down. The top one is anything you want to do around page break. Here is section break. So I will use section break and of course, next page. So I will do that before the table. That's what I've done. I will also come back and do it after the table. So I also come here under my table. I've moved under the table now. I will also click a section break. So what I've done is that now you will see what has just happened. Because I've done section break, my numbering has changed. The last number here on the top of the table is 11. My numbering for the section that has only the table is 1. That's one of the things we now have to come back and do the correction. Then after the table, it will also be reading 1. Because it's realizing that this is the beginning of another section. My table is also a separate section itself. So that is very simple. We will soon correct that very soon. Now, I have done my section break. I can now click any part of the table, right? And then come here under my page setup, under the orientation, and then click landscape. So when I click that, only the table would have turned to landscape. Let's confirm that. Let's scroll up. You can see page 11 is still on portraits. I hope you can see that. Very good. Then under the table as well, let's go under the table. You can see page 13, or what page is this? No, it will not recognize. We have not changed the page already yet. So you can see the one under the table is also portrait, whereas only the table, you know, it's a long table, so it has split into 2 pages. Fine, since we have achieved what we wanted to achieve. So you can see the table now is under landscape. So you can have both landscape and portrait tables or figures in the same document. You don't need to move on to another separate page. If you got what I just explained, say, yes, I do. If you got what I just explained now, can I have your yes, I do? You got what I just explained now? You got me clearly how to turn in your portrait tables to landscape. You got what I did now. Okay, I can say a lot of yes, yes, I do. On YouTube, what is happening to you guys on on Google Meet? Are you sure you are in this class at all? Google Meet, are you sure you are in this class at all? It's taking you too long. What is happening? And I'm sure it's not your network. Yes, I got it. Thank you, guys. Yes, I've seen that clearly now. Excellent. So let's continue with that. You have successfully turned your table to landscape. Don't forget, we have not edited or give caption to the title of our table. That's what we are going to do next. So I'm going to copy that. I cut it. Remember where we did our caption under the references ribbon. So come to your references, insert caption. Now, look at what is going to happen now. Remember, we have done table 2.1 the other time. Automatically, Word recognizes that if you have done table 2.1, then definitely the next one should be table 2.2. So the moment I click my caption, it brings in table 2.2 straight off. And of course, I can click my full stop and paste the title of the work. The title of the table, and click OK. So you can see you don't have problem with that. Do your formatting to ensure it fits well into your style of writing. It's 11 font size. I'm changing it to 12. Then I'm removing the italicized part. And of course, I'm doing bold. So I've successfully, with what I've done now, it will be easy for me. If you don't use caption, you will not be able to generate your table of content. Imagine my work that I showed you. I have a series of tables. In fact, I have about 250 something figures inside that work. Imagine if I have to be doing copy from one page to another, or my list of figures or list of tables. Imagine how many years I'm going to spend doing that. So now that I believe you have learned how to do table, let's quickly correct our pagination. Remember, because of the section we did, sectionalization we did, that was why the numbering changed. So what do we do next? Click any part of that landscape and come to your page numbering under insert. You come to page number from your insert and click format page numbers. Format page numbers. When you click on it, you now click, or you select this continue from previous section. You know, it's still part of your main document. So you click on continue from previous section. When you click that, it will automatically continue from the last page. The last page on the portrait is 11. And what you see happening now, you can see it has turned to 12. And of course, the next page is 13. But remember, we have not done that to the next section, which is the one after the table. So that one will still be reading 1. So of course, you also have to do that, the same thing. Come to page number, format page number, then tell it to continue from the previous section. And you can see that turn into 14 immediately. The previous page 13, then the next one 14. All right. So if you have gotten that, give me your best emoji. your best emoji, your best emoji. Some latecomers are just hearing me on YouTube. Your best emoji, if you got what I just explained, how to ensure your page numbering is consistent, give me your best emoji. Excellent. I'm seeing some interesting emoji here. Excellent. Good, 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 good at that. Excellent. All right, let's continue. Let's continue. There are many things to learn today. Just hang in there. And you will see by the time you have all of this at your fingertip, you become a pro in dealing with MS Word and formatting your document and ensuring it stays consistent throughout your work. Now, before I go to how to insert, okay, let me quickly do that. How to insert figures. Where do we put that? Let's go to chapter 3 and insert figure in chapter 3. Good. So let's insert figure in chapter 3. Somewhere in chapter 3. I will insert any image in chapter 3. So I press enter. And what do I do? The same place where we inserted our caption is the same place we are going to insert the title of the figure. And remember, I told you title of figures always stays under the figure. Title of tables always stays above the table. So let's insert figure. How do we do that? Number one, you can either do insert from the insert ribbon, and you can see pictures. So we soon do that. Or number two, you can go and copy it from wherever you have it and bring it in here and paste. Right click on it wherever you have it, do copy, or you press Ctrl C and then come and paste it here by doing Ctrl V. But let's do the insert using the insert, because using the insert helps you to put it appropriately. Sometimes when you do copy and paste, it makes the picture either bigger than it should be by the time you are pasting it on your Microsoft Word. So you come to pictures under your insert. The one we did earlier was tables. So you come to pictures, you click on pictures. If you see the arrow under your picture, you can see where do you have the picture. Do you want to pick it from this device? Is it an online picture that requires you to enter the URL? So you click on from the device, and of course, it will load a page from which you can select it from wherever in the device. So let's imagine you are picking from the device and you already know where your image is. I think I should have some images on my download folder. So let's imagine you have the image somewhere on your download folder. So let's pick an appropriate image, just a moment. Okay, let me just pick one of these images that has to do with. All right, so if that is my image, I will click on it. If you want to pick more than one image, what do you do? After selecting or clicking on the first image, that's provided all the images are on the same folder. You can press Ctrl and then click again the next image, and then click again the next image. But now to make it easier for you, let's just click one image. Then, of course, you click Insert after you have done that. So it automatically inserts the image in the body of the work. And here you go. This is the image. This one is not looking like image. It's looking like what? But let me delete and give you a very good image. I don't like the way that one looks like. Let me give you a very good image. Okay, let me pick this. So imagine this is an image, an image from a dashboard, and you have it already selected and imputed inside your document. Remember, in some instances, depending on the size of your image can also be on a separate page. I remember how we do that. If it's landscape, you remember what to do, but let's leave this as portrait. Of course, you press enter and you do your layout and you take it to page break for it to be on a separate page, and as well this that is after it, do your page break as well for it to be on the next page. So you have only your image on a separate page. Remember what to do now is to give your image a caption, that is a title. How do you achieve that? To your references ribbon, your references ribbon. Under your references ribbon, come to captions, then insert. Now look at what is going to happen. The moment we click insert, because you know the last thing we did was we were working on tables. And the last table we did was table 2.2. So it's already recognizing as though we want to insert another table and not defining as table 2.3. But you know that's not what you want to do. You actually want to insert a figure. So what do? And your figure, you want it to have chapter delimitation. So what do? You click on new label as we did the other time. Then you write figure. In some cases, they have fig, that is the short form of writing figure. In some instances, they write it in full as figure. I would prefer writing in full, figure. Remember, this is chapter 3, and my first figure in chapter 3, 3 points. Then I click OK. Automatically, it has recognized that, oh, I'm not doing table, I'm doing figures. So, and it gave me, oh, this is your first figure under that caption. And of course, let's give it a title. Let's say Clemachem or Prep Guide Prototype. Let me put it that way because we have changed Clemachem to Prep Guide. Prep Guide Prototype. Always remember, every of your title must be in title case. And I think I taught you that yesterday. Prototype. Title case where the first letter or the first alphabet is capitalized and the rest are small letters, except you have prepositions and conjunctions. So you have that as your caption, and you can see it under the figure 3.1. The same thing we have been doing, turn it to 12 size. Remember, consistency is key. Whatever you do to one, you must do to all. We remove italicizing, press Ctrl B. Don't forget, if you're a science student, then you can see, I think this thing is not a very good black. So let me turn it to automatic black. Good. So remember, as a good student, if you're a science student, if you have what's it called, botanical names inside your title, it has to be italicized. So it's not a must you remove italicizing from that. So now you have your list, your figure already labeled. If you have a very large figure and you want it landscape, the same process I taught you for table is the same process you are going to do for that. Now you have figure, but remember, this figure has not been quoted or cited in any part of the work. So always remember, you have figure. Let me just put as shown in figure 3.1. Always remember, you have to cite your figures or your tables appropriately. Now, let me quickly show you something that is also very important as a good student of MS Word. Now we have table 1, table 2, table 2.1, 2.2, and figure 3.1. I think I'm okay with that. If you also want to do appendices, you also do the same thing under caption. Just edit and write appendices or appendices 1 point whatsoever, and then you are fine. Now, the next thing I want to do before we go to insert our table on the table of content is that there's something we call cross-referencing. Cross-referencing. Let me quickly show you what that means. In one of the documents I've always used as a standard for you. So now, I will show you something quickly. Look at what this is describing. Just look at it. I said, don't mind me. Okay, 500 level student. Well, if you are a science student, you will understand. He said, the proton NMR spectrum of the code, figure 4.137. Now, what cross-referencing will do for you? What cross-referencing will do for you is that from the body of the work, you can click. For example, if you turn this document to a PDF, I can just click immediately, and it will take me to where figure 4.137 is. And you see, when I move over my my cursor on it, you can see it's showing me something. It's saying you can press Ctrl plus click, and it will take me to that page. So What do I do? Let me press now. Just watch out. I'm going to press Control and click on that figure figure 4.137. It will take me exactly to where my figure 1.37 is. Can you see? And that's what you have there. Figure 1.37. Show me this was what I was cross-referencing in the body of my work. So that's what we want to do quickly now. Pay attention. Very simple. Very, very simple. Now, that was why I highlighted it so that it can bring me back to this place. I want to do a cross-referencing for this, such that if anybody gets to this work, maybe your lecturer or your supervisor, and you want to quickly see what you even have under table 2.0, it doesn't have to be scrolling up and down before it moves, most especially sometimes when the table is not directly next to the document in question. Maybe I should quickly do something such that this table will move to another page and to be easy. Let me bring all of this up to that page. Control C, and I want to bring it on top of the table such that my table 2.1 will not be immediately after that page. Good. Yes, good. So reading is easier. Good. So now, just a moment. All right. So now, my table is not directly under that page now. So let's see. We want to do a cross-referencing. How do you do that? You come to your references ribbon, that same place. Remember I told you under this caption there are quite a number of things you can do. Now, we have learned insert caption. At the top of it, that's not where we are going. Yes, insert cross-reference. I just hope you can see that. Yes, insert cross-reference. You click on it. Remember, always make sure, before you do that, always make sure your cursor is where you want that cross-reference to stay. So I want it here. After in, then I come to insert cross-reference. I click on it. It's not asking you, how do you want to insert this cross-reference? Do you want to do you want to insert the number items? No, that's not what I want to do. The number items, we only insert number you have in all the parts of your work. You can see all your work, all the listing and styling we did yesterday appearing here. That's not what we want to do. So what I want to do is that I want to insert my tables, table 2 point, all the label we did, the listing we did, the what's it called, the styling we did will appear here. So you scroll down, you click on that arrow down and come to 2 points. That's what I want to cross-reference. And immediately I click table 2 point, you can see the formatting and the insertion I've done in table 2 point appearing there. How do I want to insert it? Do I want to insert the entire caption? No. Because if I click entire caption, it will show me everything that is appearing here. I want to only insert the label and the number. If I insert only the label, it will only show table 2 point. Remember that was the label we used the other time. I want to insert the number as well. So I will click only label and number, because that's what I have there as shown in table 2.1. So when I click that, then I will click the one I want to insert there for only label and number, which is table 2.1, and click insert. So you can see that appearing there. Table 2.1 already inserted there. So I can easily delete the one I wrote and highlighted before. So that table 2.1, you can see italicized. You can change the italicizing, but let's quickly do the others before we go forward. Table 2.2, where are you? 2.2. Oh, I think I inserted, oh, sorry. I think what I did there was I supposed to have selected table 2.2, not table 2.1. So let's correct that. Should have selected table 2.2 there, because that's what we were making reference to there. Table 2.2 should be here, not 2.1. So I'll click on it again and I'm selecting table 2.2 and insert. So then I can delete that table 2.1 without stress. So now I want to go and insert table 2.1 now. I think that one is somewhere up, yes, here. Where did we make reference to that? Yeah, this table 2.1. So I can delete it and do my insert, table 2.1. I've done the cross-referencing for that one now. Then now, see what is going to happen now. So from here, I can do the same clicking. You can see it appearing on your document now. Control click, and it will take you to where you have table 2.1. Let's do that again for 2.2. 2.2, where are you? Okay, this is table 2.2. I can click, control and click, and it will take me straight to where I have table 2.2. So all of that is possible. If you want to do for the figure we did earlier, it's also possible. Where did we have our figure? Okay, this is our figure, figure 3.1. The only difference is that instead of selecting table 2 points, under those labels, you select table 3, figure 3.1. So come under references. What we are doing now is cross references or cross referencing. So you click insert cross referencing, and we are not dealing with table 2 points. Click this arrow under your reference type and look for where you have your label figure 3 point and select it. It will bring all the ones you have done there, and select 3.1, but don't forget only label and number, and click insert. And then you have successfully done the cross-referencing. And so if you click that, it can take you straight to where you have figure 3.1. So quickly, 10:54, okay? Because we are still going to something very important soon. Quickly, let's now go back to our table of contents, because now we want to insert our tables of content. We want to put in the page numbering and ensure we don't have to be editing here and there every time we do a change. So what do? We are still under references. Under references, you have created your document, remember, you have to be doing this as you are doing your writing, so that it's not after you have finished all your write-up, you are now doing your captioning, you are now doing your styling. As you are doing your writing, as you are writing your project, make sure you are doing all of this. That's what makes it easier. Even if your supervisor have to make corrections, you are not afraid how many days you are going to spend effecting those corrections. You don't have to worry. So now, what do? We are under list of tables. We want to have the list of our tables here. You come to captions under reference, and you come to table of figures dialog. Tables of figure dialog. When you click on that, it will bring you this template. Remember this template? When we were doing our table of content, a similar template like this appeared. Now you have it also when you click table of figure dialog. Because you are using that same caption for tables, for list of tables and list of figures, you have to now define what you want it to bring. Remember, we don't like this ... Remove it. Click on tab leader and remove the ... as the case may be. Then come under caption label. Remember, it is table we want to insert, not figure. Automatically, it came with figure. And our table, we have different, if you have different table, let's say you have different labels, table 2 point, table 1 point, table 3 point, you have to do it, each of them separately on that same list of tables. That's how it's going to add it up. But where we have our table is under chapter 2, and we label it table 2 point. So I will click on 2 point, and what else? I will click OK. So all the tables I have created will appear in a jiffy, and that's it there. If you got it up to this point, give me your best emoji. We have success. If you have 100 tables, it's going to appear there under your chapter 2. If you have 1,000 tables, it's going to appear there. You don't need to go and be looking for all the chapters. You don't need to go and be looking for all the pages. Please give me your best emoji if you got what I just described just now. Tomiwa, Joshua, Ujoa, Yomide, that's nice. I've seen those wonderful emojis. Oh, good. Mary Fade came in. Excellent. Priscilla, good. Oladujoye, excellent. So you can see, very simple. If you have table 3 points, you do the same thing. Just come up under your table of figures again. Remember, under your caption label, you would have seen table 3 points. You know, we didn't do up to that. That's why it's not appearing. Whatever you don't put will not appear. And but now, if we have successfully done our, now you can further edit, because sometimes, for example, I love to make my work very clean. I don't like things appearing. So I can just put here table, then description, maybe the description of my table. I press tab. I didn't use space. I press tab twice, and I say description of, or just description. Then to my extreme right, I keep pressing my tab to take me to my extreme right, and I type page. Okay, I can reduce the number of tabs I've made so that it will return back to there. When I get to the last one, oh, sorry. Yeah, when I get to the last one, then I can press space to drag it a bit forward. Yeah, good. So, have that. Then I can now, oh, sure, sorry, that was a mistake. Instead of bold, I tried bolding it. So now, what do? I can decide to remove the bold from that list of tables. Then sometimes I love to remove all of these table, so that under that table, I will just have 2.1, I will have 2.2, just as it will make the work a bit linear, neater. So what do? I can select all the table, and then I will come to, it's an opportunity to also teach you this. I will come to my home ribbon. And under my home ribbon, you come to the editing pane or section here towards your right hand. And I will now click replace. What do I want to replace? I want to remove all the table. Remember, what I have there is table, then 2 points. Sorry, no, I think I still have my 2 points. Table, then a space before 2. So I will type it the way it is inside that document. Then I don't want to replace it with anything. I will leave the replace with as empty. So what is this saying? I'm saying that I want to replace something. What do I want to replace? That's what you put or type in your type words. I want to replace where I have highlighted everything that is reading table and a space. And I want to replace it with nothing. That's why I didn't type anything in my replace with. Then I will say replace all. So you can see it's not asking. We made 2 replacements in your selection. Do you want to search the rest of the document? My answer is no. Because if I say I should search the rest of the document, even in the body of my work where I have table 2 points, it will also change it to only 2.1. That's not what I want to do. I only want to effect that in my list of tables. So I will click no. What have I seen happening there? So you can see a very neat, under my table, I have 2.1, and I also have 2.2 only. Then again, another thing I can do, or I want to do, is I want to move this description a bit forward, so that there'll be a little space. So I can still highlight it. Then what do I do next? I will move, no, not that. I will move my hanging indent. I want to, just a moment. Okay. In this case, I will have to use my tab to sort that. Since, let me use my tab to sort that. So just put your cursor to the end of the document and do a little tab. Okay. The tab is not tabbing. There's something I want to do there. Okay. Sorry. Okay. That is not happening. Let me try it again. My left index should have done that work for me. First line index, hanging index. Just a moment. My mouse is misbehaving. Okay. So let me try again. Sorry, I'm trying to move something there. It's not moving. Okay. Well, if it doesn't move, we may have to leave it at that. I wanted to give you that as another bonus, but it's not responding the way I wanted it to. Hanging index. It's not moving. Left. Oh, no, that's not what I wanted. I'm not moving all. I only want my movement to start from D. So since that is not happening, let me see if this will happen. Just a moment. The same thing. So let's leave it at that since it's still looking very neat. What I wanted to achieve is to move those titles a bit inwards so that you have your 2.1, 2.2 very neat separately on the left, your pagination very neat on the right, and the description very neat. The tab is not tabbing. I love that. That shows you are following. Excellent. So let's go to our list of figures. Remember, we made just one figure. Just one figure. Just one figure. Just one figure. So just one figure we made. How do we insert that? Come back to your references. Remember, we are using the same caption pane. Click on the caption. And what are we expected to do? Of course, figure 3 point. We did our figure on chapter 3. So you change the caption label under that to 3 point. You remove the numbering, the dots on the tab leader, and you click OK. And automatically you have your figure 3.1. The same thing we did. The same thing we did for our table, can as well do here. Just a moment. The same thing you did here, can do a copy and come and put it there and just change the name to figures. So you have it there too, figures. And since we have just one figure, I can just decide to do a delete, highlight and delete to have my 3.1. And I don't need to call it figure since it's just one, just figure. If you have more than that, write figures or return it as figure and 3.1, 3.2. And that is how you generate your table of content. If anything happens in the course of the document you are preparing, you don't have to worry. All you just need to do is come and do a refresh. What am I trying to say? If, for instance, let me show you, okay, let's go to where we have 1 point and 2 points yesterday. Good. Let's imagine let's see if that will work out. Look at here, we have 1.1, 1.2, 1.3, 1.4, 1.41, 1.42. Let's imagine your supervisor says this is your null hypothesis. You don't need it. Just imagine that. And now you have to remove the whole of your null hypothesis. What does that mean? It means definitely that alternative hypothesis, we have to read 1.41. I hope you know that. It means alternative hypothesis, we have to read 1.41. You don't have to worry too much. So all you just need to do is go to where you have your null hypothesis. And to make it easier, under your view tab, since you have done your styling well, you can also come to this pane where you have show and click on navigation pane. You click on navigation pane, all your styling, all your titles, most especially the one we did for the titles, the numbering, and the styling will appear on your left-hand side. And so you can also move from here to any part of the document. So let me go to null hypothesis from here. So your lecturer cross this says you don't need it. The only thing you need is alternative hypothesis. Just come and delete it. Nothing will happen. You see what is going to happen. Just watch out on what is going to happen on your 1.42. You see it changing immediately to 1.41. So I'm deleting. What can you see happening? You can see what happened to alternative hypothesis. Can you please just give me an emoji? You saw what just happened to alternative hypothesis. Give me an emoji. Before it was 1.42. Your lecturer says you don't need null hypothesis. Excellent. You don't need null hypothesis. All you just need to do is don't go and be cracking your brain that you now start working on the old document. He doesn't even know how I was stressed doing so. Don't bother. Just delete it because you have done listing. So you can see the benefit of each of what we learned yesterday. Because you have done listing, automatically it will update itself to the next listing. So the only thing you also need to do is that you observe that something might have changed. Or let's just imagine your lecturer says, okay, what you need to do now is you need to add another one that is 1.42 and 1.43. So let's imagine that is happening. And you want to add that immediately after here. And let's now call it, I think some guys were giving you something. Okay, aim and objective. Let's just imagine. Aim and objectives. Your lecturer says remove null hypothesis. Add aim and objective immediately after your alternative hypothesis. And your aim and objective will now be reading, okay. Let's just assume your aim and objective will be reading 1.42, right? So let's split it. I want to drive home something. So let's imagine your aim will read 1.42 and your objectives will read 1.43. What are you expected to do? Just type your aim. Remember your styling. Don't forget every of your titles. So let's imagine that's your aim. Aim should not be more than a sentence or two. So, and your objectives, let's say you have about some number of objectives. So let me just split this into a number of things. Let's just imagine these are your objectives, which is about 5 or 4, which you can use either your bullet or numbering to demarcate. So let me just put a numbering there. Good. So now, but of course, because you want your aim and objective to also appear in your table of content, and your lecturer says it should be 1.42. What do? The first thing you should realize is your 1.41 is under our styling is heading 3. 1, 2, 3, heading 3. So all you need to do is click on it and come to your styles and select heading 3 so that it will be recognized. That's the first thing you do. The next thing you do after that is to come to your numbering. Remember, your lecturer says it should be 1.42. Any numbering you have used before will appear in recently used number format. Now you want it to be 1.42. You know what is going to happen? You will click on that the one that correlates with your numbering. It's not 1.21, it's not 1.1. This is the one that correlates with that. So you click on it, and immediately you can see it change it to 1.42. Why? Word has already recognized that there is 1.41 at the top, and now you have 1.42. Remember the kind of formatting we did yesterday? We moved them well to where it's supposed to be. And there you go. You are okay. And you can see it also appearing immediately on your navigation pane here. Now, good. The next thing is you also want to turn your objective to heading 3. Click on heading 3. The same thing. Click on here. Now, since the last one you did was 1.40, you don't need to go and be clicking the arrow. Just click on this numbering, and it immediately introduces your 1.43. And you have successfully done that. Now, but one more thing you need to quickly do is that since you have done a major addition to the styling and the listing of your work, you now have to come back to your table of content to come and do a refresh. Remember, he's still realizing or recognizing 1.41 as null hypothesis, whereas you have deleted that already. You have deleted that already. So what do you do? What do you do? What do you do? The next thing you do is, okay, good. The next thing you do is that you right-click anywhere on the table of content, anywhere. You come to update field. Update field. When you click on update field, it will show you a dialog. What's happening? Okay. Immediately I click update field because I've made a major change. you can see it just automatically updates the document. And that's why you can see the aim and the objectives now appearing. The aims and the objective now appearing. The aims and the objective. If you do not make any major change, all you just need to do is update page number only. And what do you do again? Of course, you select all the table of contents, only the table of content this time around, and you do your editing. Remember, we want everything to start from your left indent. So you just move it up or down, and then you also adjust, that's not what I wanted there. Okay, good. You also adjust your hanging indent, and that will control every other thing to make it come together there. Okay, good. Now, it may happen, just like you can see here, a situation where one of the pages is now moving maybe a bit backwards because you don't have too many words in that particular particular title. All you just need to do is come to the edge of the number or page number and press tab. The moment you press tab once, it will move it straight to where it's supposed to be. That's what I just did. You can see 4 is not aligning well with the other page numbers. So just click the back of the 4 and press tab, and it takes you straight to that. You can see your table of contents, very neat, and well presentable. And that is that about what I wanted to point your attention to. One more important thing that will be the last lap for this particular document we are working on is that, of course, in academic writing, for your project, you can't just be writing. Project work, literature review, very important. They are evidence-based. And so you cannot say everything you are writing is coming from your head. And there's what we call plagiarism, which is an academic theft. If you copy anything from anywhere, or you have an information from anywhere, it must not be rendered verbatim the way you have it from that source. Oh, secondary metabolites, they are a class of metabolites that are not directly useful to the plant, but have a effect on human beings or living organisms. You are not the first person that is saying that. Definitely you must have heard that or seen that in a journal article or in a textbook. So referencing is very, very important in any academic writing. And it's important you learn that and learn it well now that you are in your final year, 500 level at that. And how do you reference? It's very important. You can ask your Word document, even though that requires a separate training, but I will just put you through. Perhaps some of you will find it helpful. One important thing is that I use Mendeley. There are quite a number of referencing tools like EndNote, like Zotero. We also have Mendeley, which is most of the time. And I have the desktop version on my laptop. So I'm going to open that up. And the beautiful thing about it is that any journal articles you are using must be that Mendeley software. There's also a web version for it on Mendeley. I think Mendeley.com. You can also sign up. And since most of the time we are still going to transfer this document to Google Doc, so you also find it useful by the time you are there. But let's just assume you are still working with your desktop version of MS Word. Then I hope you responded. I tried putting on my, okay, it is putting on my Mendeley. So what do you do is that when the Mendeley desktop, if you're able to successfully get the Mendeley desktop version, it will open and I'll show you some of the interface you have there. And one beautiful thing is that you can reference straight from Word document using your Mendeley. So when I click the reference ribbon, you can see I have my Mendeley already integrated to my Word document. And what would that do for me? Mendeley is already running. Okay, that's fine. So what would that do for me is that if I have any journal or article already in my Mendeley, and that is where I'm getting some of this information from, I can easily cite them in the body of my work. And by the time I'm doing my list of references, you don't have to worry as well. You don't have to worry doing your list of references for days or weeks. So how do we do that? This is my my Mendeley desktop version. I just hope you can see that. I've been working on it for quite some years, so a number of things there. But for you, since you are working on a project, you can just create a folder. And you can title that folder My BSc Project. And of course, you click on that folder. You can now come and put a number of articles. Let's say you have downloaded those articles from the web. And I will just pick some articles that I work with someone recently. So let's imagine you have downloaded it. So the moment you just come to that folder where you have the article, select all of the articles you want to add. So let me just add about 3 or 4 articles. When you highlight them, how do you do that? You left click and drag to the last one you want to highlight. Then you also left click on the highlight and move your cursor to drag and come to your Mendeley desktop. I just hope you are seeing all I'm trying to do. Yes. And then move it into that particular folder we just created from our Mendeley. And all of the articles will automatically come into the Mendeley folder you are working with. Automatically, Mendeley will recognize the name of the author, the name of the title of the work, the year, the publisher, and many other things. And that makes it very beautiful. Now, how do we now use it properly? Before you can use it on your own Microsoft Word, you have to have installed the MS Word plugin from your Mendeley. So you come to Tools, in case you're able to download the software, you come to Tools, and instead of uninstall, you will see Install MS Word plugin. When you install your MS Word plugin, you also install what we call Web Importer. That one is useful if you are working on the web, you want to add some references to your desktop. So after that, please pay attention. The moment you do that installation, you will have this kind of pane inside your own Microsoft Word. This one that is saying Mendeley Cytomatic. Even though Microsoft Word also has its own inbuilt citation or referencing tool. But personally, I hardly use that because we also have to be adding it up as time goes on. Now, what do we do? Now I want to reference, assuming I want to cite one of my authors in this page. I will come and click where I want the citation to be. And of course, click Insert Citation under the Mendeley Cytomatics. Immediately, it will load this dialog box. And then I can search for the title of the work. I can't remember any title, but let me just type a title that seems to resonate with what I have on my Mendeley desktop. So if I'm working on this, and this is the work I want to cite, let me use this 2024 biosecurity practice in Australia, and I can click on it. But I want to cite more than one in that particular in-text citation, then I can also, let's say the next one is one article written by Ajiboye. I can type Ajiboye, then I look at which of the article is this particular article I'm citing, and I will click OK. The moment I click OK, see what is going to happen. It's still doing some background work. Good. This is what just happened. It has cited and imputed the correct in-text citation in that one. Wani, Mendoza, and Gray 2024, Ajiboye Ito 2025. At every junction you cite. But then your institution citation may not in any way be close to this. So you can come to style under this Mendeley cytomatics and click the style that is very close to your institution. So let me imagine I click upper 7th edition, which is American Psychological Association 7th edition. I click on that. It will also change automatically to effect that. So you can see Ajiboye Ito 2025, Wani Ito 2025. So let me do one more, then we go and generate our list of references. Let's do one more here. I want to insert in-text citation. I come to insert citation. I'm taking it again. Insert citation. I write the name of the author or the title of the work. Antioxidant, if that's the title of the work, antioxidant evaluation. So the moment I have it already on my Mendeley, it will bring it up automatically. Oh, let's imagine the title is actually evaluation of antioxidant, immunomodulatory, whatsoever. I click on it and I click OK. And automatically it will bring in the citation into that document. After you have done that for all your work, remember your list of references must be included at the end of your work. Or you just come is, you go to the next page. Don't forget how we used to go to our next page because it's a fresh title, references. There's no way we will run away from references. And of course, it's a big title, so we can give it heading 1. Then after we have successfully done that, you now go back to your references. And what you want to do now is you want to input all your references that you have used in that document. Pay attention. You know, instead of typing, copying and pasting, stressing your brain, trying to do that, just come to where you have your Mendeley cytomatics and click Insert Bibliography. The moment you do Insert Bibliography, all the references you have used in your work will come up immediately. You enjoyed this? Can you please give me a yes? What you are seeing, you love how smart it's looking, give me a yes. Give me a yes. Excellent, excellent. So you can see you don't have to struggle. Even if you have to delete any references, it will automatically update itself without stress. If your lecturer says, this reference is old, all you just need to do is go to where you did your citation in the body of the work and delete it. Let's do it. Where did I make my citation? How do I recognize? Okay, let me put another citation at the tail end of the work so that we can easily identify that. And I will put it. Then remember, you do insert section. Let me do Ayedun. I think I have a work for Ayedun. Good. And I click OK. See what is going to happen. Automatically, that same will be inserted in my bibliography, which is, can you see, Ayedun, the first one. Now, if the supervisor now says, Ayedun is not even talking about Microsoft Word, how come you put Ayedun in this place? And he now says you go and delete. All you just need to do is come here and delete it. And automatically, it will also delete itself from the list of bibliography. And you can do a refresh. Let's do a refresh first. Yes. When you do a refresh, it will delete itself also from the list of bibliography. And there you go. Excellent work. Beautiful document. Well prepared. Well done. Always remember, you have to be refreshing your table of content. If you make any major change, of course, you have to also do a refresh. I mean, update list of table. If it is on table, you do that. Good. Now, in the next 20 minutes, we're going to do something important. We are taking this to our Google productivity space now. Let's see what we are trying to say. Let's imagine you want to save this. You can either save in your Microsoft Word or in your MS Word. Very important. You can save in whichever way, either in your Microsoft Word or in your MS Word. So, of course, you can press Ctrl S or Control Save or Save As. I've saved the file before, so it will not bring any dialog for you to type the title of the work. But if you want to give it a fresh title, just click your file and come to Save As, and as well as click where you want it to be saved, and then it will bring a box where you can type the name, type the file name. Let me just give it that name. And of course, you can click Save, and you are good to go. Then you can as well save directly as PDF. Just come to Save As, that's in File, and Save As. Then when you get to your Save As, click where you want it to be. And under Save As Type, you click that and you see PDF. Scroll down, you see PDF. And with that, you can easily save as PDF in that same space. And you know, all the things, that's where you now appreciate the beauty of most of the things we have done on our styling or whatsoever we have done. Because with that, if you open your if you open your PDF file easily, I want to see the document I just saved now. I want to open it. Okay, just a moment. Just a moment. So I want to open this document now so that you can see all I've been saying since. Okay, let me open it here. So here is the document we have just prepared. I want to go to the table of content where I have all my table of content. And you can see when I over my mouse to any part of the table of content, it's showing me hand, telling me I can move and go straight to where each of those things are without stress. And just as we also described for our cross references, see, you can see it's showing me hand, telling me I can also click and it take me to where that table is. And so now, let's now take this to our Google space. But before we do that, there are some very important things you also need to know. So permit me to share my screen while we quickly do that in a jiffy. But before we go into that, can you quickly type what you have learned just today for the past 1.5 hours? Just give me 1 or 2 or 3 things you have gained in today's class. I'm waiting to see your comment. I'm waiting to see how well you have gained something. Anybody saying something there? Okay, this is beautiful. Excellent. Oh my days, this is huge. Very, very, actually huge. Tell me, what have you gained? 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 How to use references? Excellent. How to insert list of tables and figures? How to use Mendeley? Excellent. How to edit table of content? Referencing using Mendeley? Good, good, good. Inserting and modifying tables? Excellent. Out, very good, very good. So guys, you are out there to in fact give the best shot at any document you'll be presenting. And fully today, you are going to be doing an assignment. So as you are eating your Christmas delicious meal, you're also going to be trying out some of these things you have learned. And I hope, I trust you won't disappoint, as you know, it's part of your grading rubrics. All right, we have saved the document. And before we go proper to our Google Workspace, there are things I need to also make you see. Yeah, Google Workspace productivity, text citations and cross-referencing. Good. Keep them coming. That's excellent. Keep them coming. Keep them coming. I love what I'm seeing there. Just keep it coming while this is loading. Just keep them coming. Okay, good, 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 good. Good, 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 good. All right. So let's go proper now. Google Workspace productivity. Like you see that what all I've been doing since I'm doing on my own. I'm doing, I'm the only one having access to the document I'm using, and you guys are only seeing because I'm sharing. And one beautiful thing you see, uh, because before now, you have used MS Word, just like I tried explaining to you. But your Google Doc is doing something fantastically different, very, very different. It allows you to write, it allows you to edit, it allows you to collaborate without having to install anything or without even worrying about losing your work. You know, anything can happen to my laptop and everything we have been doing since yesterday could go. But one beautiful thing about your Google Workspace is that it helps you to, it is a cloud-based application, and definitely it can also help you to collaborate well. By the time we put the work or document in Google Doc, I can share it with as many people as possible, and all of us can be doing the work separately at the same time. So that's one of the beautiful things. And of course, there are quite a number of Google tools like your Google Doc, like your Google Forms. We are going to be treating some of them, your Google Slides. I'm aware you have done the Google Sheet. So you have, we will also be looking at some of the communication tools. All of the first one on your left here, they are collaboration tools. It simply means that two more two or more people can work on it in the same document, on the same form, at the same time, in different places. That's one of the beautiful things. And also it communication, like the communication tools, like we are all on Google Meet. How do you set up a meeting? How do you control a meeting? Your Gmail tool has a lot of things to help you with in communicating well. Your Google Calendar, your Google Charts, or even your Keep Notes. There's another one that is your Keep Notes that helps you to take your notes and you can access it across your devices. So output from these tools are automatically saved, like I've said. I can access it anywhere and also keep it on your drive and easily share for collaboration. So your Google collaborating tools, like your Google Doc, is where we're going to be starting with. And I hope what we've just been doing is to move what we have been doing since to Google Doc. It will still retain most of the stylings we have done. And I will just show you how to share it with other collaborators. Perhaps if you are many on your team working on a particular project. So for your Google Doc, it's a web-based word processor. So like I said, you don't need to install it. You don't need a flash drive. You only need internet and a Google account. And I want to believe majority of you on this call are a Google account. So it runs inside your browser, like your Chrome or Firefox or Edge, just like your social media account. So and it's actually free, most especially for students like you. It's free, it's mobile friendly, and it's real time. Real time. You can do real time editing without stress. Real time editing, and it allows you to be able to. It saves your work automatically. So you don't have to go through the rigors of pressing Control Save or Control S, sorry, to save as you have in your desktop version of Microsoft Word. And this is why Google Doc is very powerful tool for you as a final year student in your project work and in your group work. The assignment I'm going to be giving you, they are going to be sharing with some of us. I must learn and know how to do them very well. I've mentioned all of this. You can automatically save, and you can as well, even if you are doing editing or you are changing things, you have access to unlimited versions. You can track what you have been doing for the past few months. If you made any changes to a particular document, and you can return back to that particular date if you feel that every other changes you have made In fact, you have been making mistake, or your supervisor is saying, no, 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 no. The first one you gave me on so 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 date, that one is very, very, very correct compared to this one you are bringing. You can as well revert back to that. That's what we mean by version history, which is unlimited. Like I said, you can share with permission, and that share may not give automatic access control to. There are different kind of sharing. So it is very, very important you know how to do that. So sharing is the art of Google Doc. Yeah. For example, you can give permission levels, different permission levels. One of it is viewers. Viewers means those persons you give permission to only view can only read the document. They can't make comments, they can't make edit, they can't do anything, they can only read it. So you can see it gives a level of control. If you send me any document made by Microsoft Word desktop on, let's say, my email now, you can see I have access and control to it. I can decide to edit it anytime, any day. But if you give me only view access to your document on Google Doc, I can only read it. Commenters, those ones can suggest, they can only comment, make comment on certain lines, make comment on certain part of the document. They cannot edit the main document itself. I also have editors control. Those ones that you give access to that can edit any part of the document. So you can see it gives you access and control to your document. Now, yes, and whoever is making comments, whoever is doing whatsoever, you will also see them. Whatsoever thing they are doing, you can also see. You can also customize your permissions. Maybe you don't even want people to download the document. As many of you have been reading maybe ebooks, sometimes you see some sites you want to copy. It's saying access control. You can't make copy. You can't even print. It happens sometimes. You can as well do that, not download that particular document. So, of course, you can export or import. We are going to do an importing now. What we have saved from our desktop, we'll import it into the Google Doc or into our drive, which we are now going to open using Google Doc. And you can as well export. You can export it as MS Word. Very, very important. You can export it. And you can as well, when you do your export and save it on your desktop, you can still open it with your Microsoft Word installed on your desktop too. So you can see it makes life easier. Easy collaboration and distribution becomes so easy. And for common use, as for team projects, writing reports, proposals, presentation in real time, creating assignments, share lecture, is generally for even all your Google Workspace tools. Business documents, you can draft them on your Google Doc. Meeting notes, in fact, you can keep notes using, there's this app by Google too that is called Keep Notes. Very, very well. I'm hoping that we'll also be able to treat that maybe after your break. Then you can use it to write your CV, to keep your journals, create documents with secure cloud storage. So we're going to go now to, I hope you all have a Google account. And if you have a Google account, then and you're on your laptop, then it becomes easier for you to. So I'm going to I will just open my Gmail. I think I can use this fine. Don't mind me, you see quite a number of things. Just pretend as if you are not seeing them on my email. All right, let me be sure you guys are still with me while this is loading. You are still with me. Give me your emoji again, your best emoji. You are still with me. Give me your best emoji. You are still with me. You are still with me. Give me your best emoji. All right. So we try. Why will you say I'm offline? How can I be offline? Okay, good, 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 good. I'm seeing it. Oh, that's interesting. Yes, sir. You are still rooting for us, sir. Excellent, excellent. We are fully with you. Yeah, I hope all those words are from your heart. Someone is giving me like, this is gold medals. Excellent. I hope I can sell those goods. All right. Now, well, because I've been using this for a while, that's why my keep note is popping up. So ignore that. Let me close it. It's just my Gmail. And if you look at your Gmail and you open yours, if you look at where I have my picture on my top right hand, just to the left of it, you can see a a 9 dots somewhere there, a 9 dot. So if you click on that 9 dot, you see quite a number of the tools or apps we have described. So you can see quite a number of Google Workspace apps there. Your Gmail, your Google Meet, your Google Play, your business profile manager. Some of you may not have some of these things, but definitely you have quite a number of them. Your Drive, your Chart, your calendar, your Gemini. You know, Gemini is the AI part of Google. Your Sheet, you have dealt with this. Then your Doc, right? Then of course your, what's it called? Different order, your slides, your notes, all present, and your fonts. So we'll be dealing with some of them, and we'll be starting with the Doc. But before I do that, I want to open my Drive. Your Google Drive, we'll also be describing that after we are done with some of the other tools. So now what I want to do is that I want to bring in that document into my Google Drive so that I'll be able to open it straight. When I open it straight, it will open through my Google Doc. So while that is happening, let me also open, what is happening? This thing is getting slow. Okay. I want to also open my Google Doc. Don't mind us. The network is still loading. Okay. So let me also open my doc. So you can either come through your Gmail to opening your Google Doc, or you can as well, instead of that, you can think there's a website that you can just go to straight without having to come. That's docs.google.com. docs.google.com. You can also use that to navigate straight into. Okay. So 2 ways. I come in through my Drive because I want it to be inside. So I come back to my folder where I saved the document we were working on before. And so the MS folder, I select it and drag and bring it in. Those are the 2 options you can use to bring file into your Drive, and bring it into my Drive. So don't worry, we'll still talk about Drive later. So I will tell you all of these options you have and how they can be used. So when I bring it in, you see it on my down left saying I'm uploading 1 item, and the item has successfully been uploaded. That's one way. Another way is to click on this plus. There's a plus here. There's a plus there. And when you click on it, it's asking you, do you want to add a new folder, or you want to upload a file, or you want to upload a folder, or you want a Google Doc to be opened? So all of those options are also possible. So you can say you want to upload a file, and it will open a dialog where you can select the file. So let me do that. The same thing as we did, we have been doing. So if you click that, it will open a dialog box, and what next? Is opening. Then of course you can come in and go to where the document is. I know my document is under my trainings. I hope I'm in the right place. Yes. And this was the document I uploaded. But let me upload another document, the one that doesn't have an E, and I select open. And the same thing is going to upload it. And after that, it will show me a mark that has been successfully uploaded. So then from there, I can open. Let me just open straight from here and see what is going to happen. It will open the doc. When it opens the doc, everything you have done since, you see it also appearing on your document. So if you go by opening docs.google.com, why that is opening, doc.google.com, let's assume you are dealing with a fresh document. What's happening? Just a moment. So, yes, if you open docs.google.com, this is what it's going to come up with a fresh and a new page where you have blank document and you have some other templates, maybe for resume, different kind of a letter or brochure. So for you, of course, what are you expected to do? You can click on the blank document. Since what you are doing is you want to start writing a new document. If you have been using your Google Doc before now, you will see quite a number of, this seems to be hanging. You see quite a number of other documents you have worked with in recent times appearing under where you have recent documents. So let's just see, just a moment, just a moment. Think this is 11:49. Okay, if you are still in class, give me a yes while we wait for this to load up. If you are still in class, can you give me a yes? If you are still in class, can you give me a yes? Not responding, you will respond. Okay, good. So it's up. Yeah, yes. Yeah, good. That's a good one. My guys on Meet, can I see your yes? Yes, 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 yes. Ujo Ayomide, he or she has been a very consistent follower and listening attentively. And I know I have more than Ujo Ayomide, Aremu Victoria, Shitu Teslimat on the Google Meet. So I wonder where others are. Wondering where others are. So here is your docs.google.com if you come straight through the web. And if you have your Gmail, whatsoever you do here will be automatically saved on your drive. So these are the documents I had worked with before now. This is the one I just uploaded some minutes ago. You can see the time, 11:46, 11:47, just some few minutes ago. So now, what do? You click on blank document. If you want to start doing something, you click on blank document. So it will load. Remember, we say it's a web-based. It will load and it will load all the necessary features that comes with your Google Doc. The first thing you're expected to do is to title the document. So give it a title. Maybe the title of your work, or you just come to the top left. Come to your top left, you see untitled document. Click on it and change the title to maybe my project work. So you can change the title to my project work. My project work. And that is it there. And that's the title is going to be saved with. And then you can, of course, now everything we did on our normal desktop version, some of them are also available for you here on the Microsoft Word and a lot more others. For example, look at the file ribbon. You can see under the file ribbon, open share. I will talk about that share. I hope my time will still allow me to do that. You can as well download it either in any of those versions you have there. You can move it to a specific folder inside your drive. You can also add a shortcut to this document to your drive. Or you can delete it by moving it to trash. I can see version history as I described to you the other time. Or also make the version available online. Under your edit, you can see either undo, paste without formatting, find and replace. I hope you remember find and replace in our desktop version. Under view, and see the different ways you want to view the comments made by people, or you want to hide it, or you want to collapse the outline like we had our navigation pane the other time, and many other things. Under your insert, now you can see some of the elements we worked with the other time. So I'm going to show you now. Insert image, we have done that. Insert table. Drawings, symbols, tabs, breaks. You remember breaks, section break and page break. Page elements. When you want to insert table of contents, page number, headers or footers or footnotes, just as you have in your normal MS Word as well. They do the same work. And your formatting. I hope you still remember what we did while formatting. Your paragraphs, your line spacings, your columns, your bullets, all of these are still as well present. And in similar fashion, you can have them done on your document as well. And you can do, I know I'm trying to, we can as well do our, what do we call it? What we did on our desktop, which has to do with styling. Yes, you can as well insert your styling in Google Doc as well, either by creating the header. I'm trying to see. I know I saw that recently. Let me see where my styling is. Format. Okay, good. Under format, in paragraph styles. So the same styling we did, I hope you still remember styling. The same styling, you can as well come here and do it, and it will give you the same results as we have always done. And as well, you can do something very important. So let's now come back to the work we uploaded. We now want to share. Remember, we said it is collaborative. You can use it. Many people can work on the same documents. So this was the document we brought up just in about 3 minutes. Let me quickly do that. This is the document, and you remember the navigation pane we had built from our Microsoft Word. Hope you can see all of that appearing here. Now, I now want to share this with a colleague or with my supervisor, for instance. All I just need to do, if you see now as I click on share, it's telling me that this document is only private to me. That means I'm the only one that have access to this document at the moment. So what do I need to do if I want someone else to have access to it? I will click on share, and it will load the dialog box for you. And under that dialog box, you can now add as many as possible people that you want to have access to this document. So for example, if I want somebody else or a group of people to have access to this document, I can add the email address of such people into where you can see, let me click, you can see add people, group spaces, or calendar event. And you can see I'm the only one here and I'm the owner. It's showing me here that I'm the owner of this document, ajiboye.clement@gmail.com. Now, it's also telling me here that I have restricted access. Restricted access. So if I want everybody to have access to this work, what I will do is that I will click anyone with the link. So it then means that this becomes a general public stuff. So anyone with the link, I click on it, then I copy the link and send it. Okay, will anyone with the link be able to view or comment or edit? I can say, okay, everyone with the link can view, can be a viewer. For instance, if I want all of you on this group or on this call to have access to this document, I will change it to anyone with the link. And I can copy the link and send it to our facilitator who will now communicate it to you all. If I want just a restricted people whose emails I have, all I do is type their email. Let's say ipcenter16@gmail.com. And I click on it. I've added the recipient of that email. I want this recipient to be able to edit the work. I will leave it as editor. I want him or her to only be able to view. I leave it as viewer. I want him or her to be able to comment. I leave it as a commenter. Commenter. So let me allow this person to view my work only. And I can type a message, hi, sir, or hello, sir. Attached is the link. Attached is the link to the document for your kind attention or perusal. Now, what this message is saying is that when the person is being notified through his Gmail or email, the person will see this message I'm typing, and I can say send. So what is going to happen is that an email would have been sent to the recipient of that email address. I can share with more people at the same time. I don't have to be clicking share every time I want to add email. I can decide to share with another set of people. Let's say Ajiboye Ohi at Gmail, or Ajiboye. I think I should have quite a number of Ajiboyes. Ajiboye, okay, Ajiboye.Clement. So you can see as I'm typing, it's bringing up some suggestions of emails I've worked with in time past at cu.edu.ng. So I can also have that. But this time around, I want these people to be able to, and I click enter. I want these people to be able to edit the document. So I can leave it as edit, and I can just say, because it's my personal email, for your information, FYI, and I send. So the recipient would have seen, and they can click and have access. So you can see, unlike before when it was locked, it's telling me access updated here. Unlike before when it was locked, now it is open. It is open. And I have, if I click on that, I have the list of the people I've added as editors or as viewers. If I mistakenly added ajiboye.oe as editor, I can change it by clicking that arrow and return her back to viewer. And I will scroll down and click save, and my access will also be updated. And so anybody or any one of us can make an edit. Let's say I want to make an edit under certification, and click my enter and say this work, sorry, is bold. I don't want it as bold. So I will do that soon. This work is dedicated to God Almighty. So I don't want it centralized, though it's still in Times New Roman, fine, no problem with that. So I have to come and do a select. It's Times New Roman, no problem with that. Remember your font type. My font size is 14. I don't want it as 14. I want it as 12. Click it and select 12. It's bold. I don't want it bold. Click it and unselect bold. It's showing that since this work is heading 1, I don't want it as heading 1. It's a normal text. I want it. I click on it. You can see it adjusting itself normally. So this is where you see your styling, styles. I've taught you all of that in the desktop version. So it's just a cloud version of that you are seeing right away there. And there you go. If you want to do all your left indent, right indent, you can see that here where you have more to your right. That's 3 dots. So this is your justification. If you click it, you will see other alignments there, either to your left, to central, or whatsoever. Your line spacing is the next to it, and paragraph spacing. So the moment you start clicking your bullet, you see it telling you what each of them does. And what has happened now is that, remember, I've made a change. It's my document, but I've made a change. Now, let's see. I want to view history of the changes I've made. I can click where you can see this arrow. I mean, this like a moving clock going anti-clockwise. If I click on it, it will show me some of the things that have been done. And each person working on it will have a different color. It's because I'm the one doing this work, and I'm the only one currently that has made any change. That's why it's saying this current version, the change was made 1202, right? 1202. If I want to see further change, you can see it's saying that at 11:27. Now, what did I do? I click on the arrow so that it will show me every other thing that this particular person out of all the collaborators has done. All this is what I've done. The original document came in at 11:27. By 12:01, I did something. What did I do? Okay, I made one edit at 12:01. By 12:02, I made the current edit, and as I'm clicking it, it's showing me what has happened. And I can revert back, I can revert to where those edits or editing were made in the document and say, oh, I don't want the edit that I made, though. I want to revert to the first document. And I can click and say, take me back to the first document. I will click on it. The moment I click on it, I will now say, restore this version. Remember, I told you, your also say, no, what you have done is not what I asked you to do. Go and do that. So, and there you go. You have been in class. You have gained value. For the past 2 hours, we have been working. Can you please give me a 1? You have been in class for the past 2 hours. You have been enjoying what you have been doing. Give me a 1. Excellent. So you can create your Google Doc. You can create different sections. You can use your desktop. The assignment you will be doing for this weekend or this week is that you'll be working with your desktop version. So, or I believe you all should have your desktop version. So you'll be working with your desktop version. And let me quickly give you that now. I hope I'll be able to do this very fast. So you're going to create, just a moment. Let me stop sharing my screen at this point. GBG Analytics, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I hope if I communicate the assignment to you, there's a way you can get this across to them, sir.
Yes. So what I've done is, if you check your WhatsApp, I sent you a slide, where they will submit the assignment.
Okay, sir. Okay, that'll be fine. So I'll just send the question to you of what they will do so that you can also communicate as well.
Do you have it available?
I want to make an adjustment, and I see that my time is running.
Okay. Let me just share my screen then, and then so that when you send it to them, they will know how to submit it.
Okay, thank you. Let me see if while doing that, I can quickly wrap it up to you will hear me before the end.
All right, no problem.
So you have the floor, sir.
All right, thank you very much. I'm just sharing my screen. All right. Thank you very much, Dr. Ajiboye, for this wonderful, demonstration of how to use MS Word and Google Doc. Thank you very much. Throughout the program, I actually listened to it and I learned a lot from you. Thank you. And I believe that the participants too, they also, have the same experience, like me. So in your assignment that we are going to send to you, right? You will just come to this form, as you can see. So on your browser, just go to this URL bit.ly/tau-word-ass-1. So when you click on it, it will take you to a Google form. Of course, I believe you know how to fill a Google form, where you will see name, your first name, your last name, your TAU email, Thomas Adam University email, and then you then upload your file. So this file is the file that you have produced through MS Word. For example, Dr. Adiboye will send you, will teach you what to do. We'll show you what to do, right? Or it will highlight you what you're going to do. After you have done that, based on the videos of yesterday and today, then you come to this form. You click on this URL, and then you fill the form, and then you upload the file that you have worked on, and that's all. Then you'll be graded by that. Thank you very much. So Dr. Ajiboye, over to you.
All right, sir. Okay, so the question I'll be sending to you through him will be such that all the things we have learned, we are going to be integrating them, your styling, your paragraphing, your sectionalization, your I will leave referencing out of it for now, but definitely your cross-referencing, your captioning. So you are going to use that to generate a document, which you are going to upload on that Google form. So you are going to be using the knowledge you have learned since yesterday to today to give me a very clean document, not less than 30 pages. Don't worry about how you're going to generate the 30 pages document. I will give you an hint to that. And definitely with some preliminary pages, at least 30 pages. With some preliminary pages, remember the page numbering, the sectionalization. It's looking bulky, but if you go through the videos carefully, you'll be able to do that. And so for you to be able to generate quite a number of words, let me confirm just a moment. So you are going to use rand, just a moment. I want to no. What's that? Sorry, my laptop is seemingly, that's why I was thinking I could. I think, sir, to be safe, I send it to you. I'll send it to them later.
Okay, no problem. No problem. Or do you just want me to present my MS Word?
Be in the latest in the next 20
Create
minutes.
this.
I've been heard.
What? Okay, no problem. No problem. No problem. All right. I think we are done for today, right? Is that okay, Dr. Ajiboye?
Yes, we are.
All right. Thank you very much, Dr. Ajiboye. Please, can we give Dr. Ajiboye a emoji? Your best emoji as always. You can even write thank you on the chat. Thank you so much. He has been taking his time, to teach you all of these things. How can I even say it? What he taught you within 2 days, right? Took me several years to know it, right? Even if you are reading MS Word document or whatever, it will take you a lot of effort to understand it, to practicalize it. And he just came here, yesterday, within yesterday 2 hours and today's 2 hours, making 4 hours altogether. And now I believe that everybody has now become a champion of MS Word. Thank you so much, Dr. Boye. We really appreciate you. Thank you very much. So because of that, and because of the holiday, I think we'll be meeting next week after the holiday. Of course, you know the date already, so there's no problem about that. And we'll see again. Thank you very much. Please do enjoy your holiday. Bye-bye.
Thank you, sir.